He said that Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.
Well, how you doing, everyone? Welcome to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show, where I talk about life, talk about liberty, and talk about the pursuit of happiness. And I show you, the audience, and the world that Cajuns do have intelligence. I hope you're having a good day. It should be a good day wherever you are, because you should remember that this is the day that the Lord has made. We should rejoice and be glad in it. The joy of the Lord is our strength, ladies and gentlemen. The joy of the Lord. You know, I remember talking about Grace Lyons, who now is Grace Turk, Hang Tang, Michael Turk. I watch Hang Time, and ladies and gentlemen, Michael Turk got married. If you're familiar with Hang Time, you know who I'm talking about. But Grace Lyons then talked about the joy of the Lord and finding it in everyday life. And when softball tries to feel it, but it's impossible. It's impossible for an event or politics or sport. It's impossible to have the joy that you should have unless you have Jesus Christ. So if you are a believer of Jesus Christ, you should have the joy of the Lord. And, I get this question asked a lot of people. How do you contain your joy? How do you go ahead and have as some would say, how you keep your sanity with all these stories of politics and, with everything going on? Well, I have the joy of the Lord. I have the Lord in my heart. He saved me from hell, and he gave me everlasting life, and that is guaranteed through the Bible. And that's how I keep my insanity. A lot of people, Isaac, everything's so bad. I know. But guess what? Greater is he is in me than he that is in the world. Giving you a little preaching right there, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and check out Cajun Cards. You see on the cap right there. They help us out on this podcast. We are working on some stuff for them to come on and be with us on a couple of episodes, and we're gonna start running their ads. So that's an announcement. We are moving on up. They say that. So I'm excited. Go ahead and check out Cajun Carts on the web and give Scotty a call if you're in the Acadiana area and you need a good service guy for your carts, or if you just want to buy a new golf cart, go check out Scotty Guidry at Cajun Carts. Tell him the Cajun Conservative sent you, and he'll treat you good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I get this a lot around July. And look, we just went through June. June was National Pride Month. It's funny how it was National Pride Month on the North American continent, and not even all on the North American continent. You also have the continent. Correction, I said content. Continent. Mexico, if I'm not mistaken, didn't have I didn't see nothing from there. All I saw was from Canada and from the United States. United States and Canada really, I guess you could say, hit it out the park for Pride Month. It's funny, however, though, in Arab nations and in China and other nations that don't agree with the LGBTQ lifestyle did not have no Pride Month. Also, you got to realize, too, ladies and gentlemen, all the movies in America that promoted pride and LGBTQ, all that was promoted in America wasn't shown in China, wasn't shown in the Middle East. If they did, it would hurt their pocketbook. But we went going back to that. We went through a whole month of pride, of men riding around on bicycles in Seattle not halfway naked, in the full nude. You had Bud Light sponsoring half-naked people on a float that had Bud Light all over it. You had women and transgender people walking around the city of New York, I think it was, and they're topless and they're screaming, "We're queer, we're here, and we're coming for your children." You had all this, and all you saw was the left and the mainstream media and companies that did not get boycott and almost driven into the ground, go up and say, oh, yes, we celebrate pride. Oh, yes, here's the pride flag. And, oh, here is, oh, let's glorify pride. So that's over with. That's over with right now. And I'm happy. Now, normally in July, and it starts off right at the beginning of the year. I don't think our founding fathers thought of it that way. It just happened that way, where the 4th of July, we celebrate the independence of America. I watch a lot of history films. I read a lot of history books, well, some history books. And if you study the nation's history, that was a big deal. We went ahead and we told Britain to stay across the water. We gained our independence. And ladies and gentlemen, that has been a celebration ever since America has come into being. And it used to be that in July, you would promote the flag a lot more. You would show your patriotism and you would show your love for country. Why? Because at the beginning of the month, we had Independence Day. And look, I enjoyed my Independence Day. I went hang out with our church. We had a great get together. We ate some barbecue chicken and some rice dressing and had some potato salad and some gluten-free macaroni and cheese, which was the bomb. But ladies and gentlemen, you had people celebrating Independence Day. Now, a lot of people say, hey, happy 4th of July. I realize, hey, it's not the 4th of July. Yes, it is the date, but it is Independence Day. And this was a big deal. We had a lot of people at our church wearing American flags, and they were proud to be an American. And I went on Facebook Live, and I also did a few TikTok videos where I talked about, are you proud to be American? Because we can go back to our last episode where it was an all-time low. I think 38% of Americans that said they were extremely proud to be an American. And ladies and gentlemen, I did a couple of Facebook Live, TikTok Live, whatever, all the live stuff. And I remember, I seen that at our event, and I'm getting people reply back on TikTok and all the social media platforms saying, yes, we're proud of being American. And someone say, well, we're not happy with the government and all that. But ladies and gentlemen, to show our colors, the red, white, and blue, as you know, it's not lacking in this studio if you're watching on Rumble and YouTube. But ladies and gentlemen, it was a time of celebration, that we celebrate this nation, and how, yes, that we did have faults. I'm not doubting that we had faults. But ladies and gentlemen, we celebrate the nation that our values and that we represent, the colors of the red, white, and blue. But unfortunately, like every 4th of July, you have some people on the left that don't like celebrating America on July 4th of whatever year. This year, July 4th of 2023. They don't like celebrating Independence Day. Why? Because they feel that this nation is rooted in slavery, is rooted in tyranny, is rooted in everything that is wrong and that we're trying to fix now. And we have to go ahead and we have to try to fix it now and give people retributions. And well, you might be thinking, as a faithful listener of the Cajun Conservative Show, you might be saying, wait, hold on, Isaac, what are you talking about? Well, we had some people that kind of voiced their opinion, and I'm not against that. They can voice their opinion, but I like to ask these people, would you live anywhere else? And this is where I'm going to come to. We're going to start off with the media side of it. The AP celebrates Independence Day by explaining why the word patriot is problematic. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Now the word patriot. If you are a patriot, if you believe in the American way, and you believe that America was built on godly values, and you believe we in our freedoms, this is problematic. The Associated Press kicked off the Independence Day celebration on Tuesday with an article explaining why the word patriot has become problematic in recent years. In the article, the outlet argued that the word has been overly politicized and taken up by extremist groups, used in ways that made it less about love for the country and more about hatred for certain minority groups. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The Associated Press, that's supposed to be nonpartisan, is saying that, and I know who they're talking about. They're talking about conservatives, because conservatives are some of the most patriotic people out there. But see, you use the word patriotic. It's not about your love of country. It's about attacking certain minority groups. No, it's not. Ladies and gentlemen, why did they call them patriots at the beginning of the early 1770s? Because they were going after a tyrannical government. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about Biden in the First Amendment, probably in the third segment. But I am tired of newspapers with supposed to be so-called nonpartisan telling us, because we are against what the Biden administration is doing, trying to take away our rights and take away our freedoms, and they're going around the loophole with it. I'm tired of newspapers saying, oh, people talking like that. They're talking about like they're patriots. They're not patriots. They just hate minority groups. They don't like the black community. They don't like the pride community. They don't like nobody. They're white supremacists. Ladies and gentlemen, why put this on Independence Day? Why put this article on Independence Day? Because they were trying to shame people in not celebrating our independence, something that all Americans should celebrate, mind you. But no, we're gonna discourage people from celebrating America, but we're gonna encourage them to celebrate a pride flag. And we already know with Biden where his loyalty stands. Remember, he put a pride flag in the middle of American flags. I'm surprised they have not come out. People have not come out yet, and they probably have, but I haven't heard it, that they want to change the American flag into well, you know what they did? They did a few years ago. Somebody created this American flag where it was all the colors. Oh, this is a better flag because we all for everybody. Baloney. This flag that's standing in the back of me, on the side of me, and on top of me right here, that's our flag. But if you're patriotic, you just don't have love for country. You're attacking minority groups. And ladies and gentlemen, going back to that, what is a minority group? The black community, the Asian community, the LGBTQ community, like they're a certain race. That is a choice you make if you want to live in that lifestyle. You're not born that way. Okay? But the AP comes out and trashes our Independence Day. Continue on with the media, the New York Times and NPR, which NPR is it's supposed to be a public newspaper. The New York Times is marking the 4th of July by bashing America. The Times featured a group of Americans who are conflicted about celebrating the birthday of our great nation. This is coming from Todd Stearns. Malaya Tapp told the newspaper that she loved America before she went to college. We should mark that down. I remember I had a conversation with a liberal trucker, and he said, "Oh no, colleges ain't doing that." Why she loved America before she went to college? Well, she says after college, then Black Lives Matter happened. I lost a lot of my patriotic feelings. See, ladies and gentlemen, you can't be a patriot if you don't think Black Lives Matter and all these groups are right. She also had a problem with fireworks. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, fireworks. It's hard to tell the difference between guns and fireworks. Oh my goodness, the Second Amendment. Of course, fireworks represent guns. And here there is always something on the news about a shooting or something, so it makes me nervous. Fireworks makes you nervous? Ladies and gentlemen, anything to make guns look bad, they're going to go ahead and put it on there. They are also bad for the environment. Oh my goodness, they're bad for climate change now. Oh, hey, take down the fireworks stand. They release a lot of toxic chemicals. YouGov survey find only 56% of American adults plan to mark the occasion. I think a lot of people that think America isn't for everyone anymore, and so it's not a exclusive holiday. The Times quoted a man from Arizona. Why release this on Independence Day? Because it's trying to discourage you from celebrating this great nation. Because to them, see, just a celebration with fireworks and food, and you're reminding them of gun violence, and you're releasing toxins into the air, and you're making people be obese by all the food you cook. Why on Independence? Because they try. Look, it's funny how they push pride so hard, and they're pushing America so they're not pushing America. Think about it. Where does the left agenda lies? You think about, okay, I'm asking, where does the agenda for the left lie? Is it America best, America first, or is it pride and their agenda first? Ladies and gentlemen, this is getting scary. Moving on, it wasn't just the media that was attacking this great country. Our country is trash. WNBA star attacks USA. All these rest of the articles are coming from Todd Stearns. WNBA star Natasha Cloud hates America. This is from Todd Stearns. Cloud, who plays for the Washington Medics, whatever their team name, went on a Twitter thread blasting the land of the free and home of the brave. Our country is trash in so many ways, she wrote. Instead of using our resources to make it better, we continue to oppress minority groups that we have targeted since the beginning of time. Oh, yes, America is evil because we had slavery and we had all this stuff. Like I said, it's a mistake. I'm not going to deny that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to ask Miss Cloud, will she go ahead and go to Russia and play basketball? We already know what happened to one of the other WNBA stars that went there and was put in jail. No justice. And that same baseball player, I can't think of her name at the moment, said she looks at the national anthem very differently now. But this woman right here, America's bad. America's trash. You have millions of dollars. You can go to Canada, where Justin Trudeau is taking all your guns and all your freedoms. You can go to France. I don't know how long you're going to stay there with all the riots. You can go to Russia, where they have a war, and they almost had a civil war. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the greatest countries in the world, and this woman's calling it trash. It wasn't just stars, mind you. It was also some of our congressional leadership and our Senate leadership. Jeremiah Bowman, Democrat of New York, said that America stands on stolen land told by enslaved Africans. Or do we have African slaves now? I thought slavery was done, but apparently to Mr. Bowman, a Democrat leftist, thinks, hey, we still got slaves in plantations today. Look, majority of people, it was already rich people that had slaves. To my knowledge, my descendants never had none. He said the nation must recommit ourselves to the fight for freedom, equality, and justice so that those ideals are accessible to everyone, not just privileged few. Again, do you see people in plantations that are in chains? No. Everybody in America has the equal choice to become rich and famous or successful, I guess you could say. But ladies and gentlemen, according to Bowman, no. Only white privileged people that are Republicans get to have success. If that's the case, I'm behind the times. Because I am successful in a lot of things, but I don't have big media shows. Cori Bush took her contempt for America even further and posted a screen, had a emoji with a black fist. Meanwhile, in Fairfax County, Virginia, a gang of Democrats took part in an Independence Day parade, chatting, hey, ho, ho, the Supreme Court got to go. Oh, now Independence Day, the great holiday of our country, to remember ourselves, people are saying, hey, the Supreme Court got to go, because apparently when the Founding Fathers put the Supreme Court into place, they were just thinking of racism and homophobic thoughts. So that's why they put the Supreme Court to stop the Democrats. Mind you, in the 70s, it was more liberal, and that's how we got Roe v. Wade. See, Democrats don't think about it. And, of course, conservatives don't remember that. Ladies and gentlemen, this is bothering. This is disturbing. Now it ain't just the media. It just ain't sports stars that kids look up to. It isn't just Congress people. It's also companies, which I'm gonna read, but at the same time, these companies, they don't like it in America. They can go to China, they can go to Russia, they can go to Justin Trudeau's famous Canada, or they can go to France that's burning down. They might not have a plant after France, but hey. Ben and Jerry's call on U.S. to return stolen industrial sled. Excuse me. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. July 4th, July 4th celebration is directed from distracts from the essential truth about the nation's birth. The ice cream maker assists. The United States was founded on stolen industrial land. This 4th of July, let's commit to returning it. Okay, your factory, give it to the Native Americans. Oh, not that. No, we're going to lose our money. See, ladies and gentlemen, they want you to do something, but they're not willing to do themselves. Ladies and gentlemen, Ben and Jerry's, I never had their ice cream that I'm aware of. I maybe did, but I'm never buying it again. Because, ladies and gentlemen, you see, don't bother that the indigenous people or the Native Americans, whatever way they want to, they politically correct call them now, they were fighting themselves way before we got here. That is historical fact. Not to mention the fact that indigenous people or Native Americans, whatever way you want to call them, helped this nation get started. But see, we're bad. We're evil because, and you know what gets me about all these stories that I just brought up? It's like the media, these sports stars, these companies, these congressional people, they act like it was all Republicans that came off the Mayflower. It's acting like they're like that all these people, and some of these people evolved and became Democrats. No, ladies and gentlemen, this country was founded on greatness. I've already said this. The Declaration, I know I'm going long in this first segment, but the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution are some of the greatest papers ever written. We're still on our first government initiation, I guess you could say. This country has went through thick and thin. And ladies and gentlemen, people like this that say, oh, America's bad, didn't move. Get out of here. If you don't love America, leave. There's other countries that fit you, like Cuba. Go to Cuba. You know, everybody, Cuba has the health care. Canada got health care. Yeah, there are people coming here to have surgery because it takes forever. There is socialistic countries that if you on the left want to go to, go. We're not stopping you. But, America's bad, but we want to have the freedoms to speak the way we want and to act the way we want. Well, you're talking out both sides of your mouth. And it's sad that we have this nation. This nation has built so great, and we have a holiday to celebrate this nation's birth. And fools, like I just talked about, go ahead and ruin it. Because they think America's so bad that they need to make their voices heard. But to make their voices heard, they're using their First Amendment right. With that being said, we're going to go ahead and take a break. I'll be right back in a few moments. How you doing, everyone? Isaac here. I'm the Cajun Conservative, and I want to thank Brother Lanny Hayes from Hayes' Dump Truck Service for their generous support of the Cajun Conservative and Brothers Just Searching. Hayes' Dump Truck Service serves the Lafayette and surrounding areas. If you have any job that you need done, like cleanup or hauling material to your job site or your home, we haul limestone, we haul sand, we haul topsoil, any type of material you need. If you're in the Lafayette and surrounding areas, please call Brother Lanny Hayes at 337-852-8043. Remember, Hayes' Dump Truck Service, where Jesus is Lord of the company.
Cleansed and made us whole. Not one hoof, not one soul.
All right, everybody, welcome back to the second segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. Again, sorry that the first segment was long, but I really wanted to hit them points, and I hope, that it helps you out. It just, a country like ours, okay, like I said, I've said this already. What is America perfect? No, it never was, and it never will be. America has its faults, but even with our faults, we're still the greatest nation on the earth. And it bothers me when I hear people that live in this country and say, oh, America's trash. Oh, America's this, oh, America's that. And look, I guess you can say complain. I don't know if you can. I voice my opinion on this show. And I know there's a lot of issues in America. But ladies and gentlemen, I never thought to come on and say, hey, America's trash. I have said America needs to repent. But you have, like Cori Bush. Cori Bush is a congresswoman that represents America. You know how that looks when you have a congressional person go on the microphone and say, America's trash? And like I said, look, and hey, I will say this. She can go anywhere, go to Cuba and try to run for office. She won't get there because it's a socialistic country, and the socialistic country is run by one dictator. Go to Canada. You could probably go ahead and get into parliament there, but Justin Trudeau is going to outrule everything you do. Well, they're part of the same party, so it won't matter. Go to France. Do they have a government because it's being burned to the ground? Ladies and gentlemen, Cori Bush is a member of our Congress. She's supposed to hold up America and say, look, I'm proud to represent this country. But ladies and gentlemen, I have learned that if they disagree with something, it's funny how they go ahead and they push it off. They push it off. I got a couple of things I want to talk about, but I just remembered talking about moving the goalposts on a few things. Since the latest rulings of the Supreme Court, the Democrats have revived their calls to pack the court. You remember when President Biden first got in there was talks because of Donald Trump's picks that they wanted to either impeach them or pack the court to make it level. It's kind of funny the number they picked was the number 13. Why? Because that would give President Biden 4 picks, and it would level out the court, or give the Democrats at least one more seat to go ahead and level out the playing field. Now, this is a thing, though, ladies and gentlemen, when the Democrats had the courts, and now this was before Trump. Remember Obama? He had, because you had to toss Roberts as a coin flip because you didn't know if he would go with the left or the right. But ladies and gentlemen, the court, when the court was in the favor of the leftists or the Democrats, and a court decision came down, it was not in the conservatives or Republicans' favor. You heard Democrats, this was a great day. We had a great day in the Supreme Court, and all you conservatives and all you Republicans, suck it up. Because this is democracy working. You remember that? Now that it's a conservative court, and we have judges doing their jobs and holding up the Constitution because they're constitutionalists. Now you have the Democrats saying, we want to change the rules. See, the rules were fine when it was in their favor, but now they want to change the rules. It's the same thing with, they change it in the middle of the game, apparently. It's the same way as football, okay? If you have a team, let's say the Patriots and the Saints are playing, and you have the Saints up by 7 points. Oh, no, let's go like this. The Saints are up by 8 points. And the Patriots score a touchdown. And they need to go into overtime, or they need to win. They tell the ref, timeout, ref, we just talked to New York. And New York told us that a field goal is not 1 extra point now. It is 3 extra points. And if we go, instead of going for 2, we're going to go for 4. Now, could you imagine the Saints, that I'm using those 2 teams? It's just, could you imagine the Saints, Dennis Allen running on the field saying, stop, what are y'all doing? New York just called to change the rules on us. They just had a meeting. The Saints did not vote for it, of course, but we got to change this rule now. And they scored, instead of going with the 2-point, now is a 4-point conversion, they score a 4-point, bang, the Patriots win the game. Well, that's not fair. And I'm using a sports analogy. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what the Democrats are doing. The Democrats are down by 7. They get a win, like the win they got from the congressional maps and the minority things. Now they need 4 points to win the game, or 3 points to win the game. And they want to change the rule. Well, for us to get an advantage, we need to get 4 more seats onto the Supreme Court to balance it out. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Democrats. They're full of baloney. There's a reason why we have 9 seats in the Supreme Court, and has worked for over 230 some years. But when the Democrats don't get their way, they want to change the rules, and we've seen that in the past years, in a number of years before. It makes me sick, and this is crazy. All right, let's move on. The Baltimore mayor says strict gun laws don't work. Whoa, whoopee! A Democrat said something right. Let me finish reading the statements. In city, because of several Republican-led states. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So the mayor of Baltimore apparently thinks that the law, the cities, now Baltimore is one of the most stricter gun law cities. California is the most strict gun law state. This Democrat believes that gun laws would work, but because of Republicans, they won't work. Ladies and gentlemen, how ironic and how can you be more stupid? Ladies and gentlemen, the reason that they don't work in cities is because gun laws don't work. Okay, certain gun laws. Let's go like that. I do believe you should pass a background check and all that stuff. I believe that. But ladies and gentlemen, see, it's not our fault. See, let's go back, because we got to go to the Supreme Court thing. See, we're not getting our policies because it's the Supreme Court. See, the Democrats like passing blame. And this is what this mayor's doing. Well, see, gun laws would work, but they're stupid Republican conservatives that believe you should have a gun if you're a citizen of America. Ladies and gentlemen, the reason gun laws don't work in cities is because gun laws don't work. Background red flag laws don't work. But you see, to not make them look foolish, and instead of sucking it up and saying, maybe our way is not the right way, we should look somewhere else, it's easier to pass the blame on somebody else. And Democrats are good at this. They're good at passing the blame onto another individual or another group of people. And ladies and gentlemen, this is what this mayor done. Now, this came into the wake of multiple guns, a gun violence last weekend, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and the president, of course, went ahead and said, listen, guys, we got to pass stricter gun laws. This mayor saying gun laws don't work. But of course, it's the Republicans' fault, and that's what the president's saying. These gun laws would work if you stupid Republicans would go ahead and pass the law. But there's a problem with all these gun laws, especially in Philadelphia. Come from the Daily Wire. Philly alleged mass shooter identified as a cross-dressing BLM supporter, report says. Now, look, ma'am, and I don't know they believe in the Second Amendment or what, but they're whole. And look, you're not hearing a lot of this. Same thing with the Nashville shooter. Her manifesto has not come out yet. The gunman charged with killing 5 men and injuring 2 children in Philadelphia Monday night has reportedly identified as a cross-dressing Black Lives Matter supporter from the Daily Wire. Ladies and gentlemen, the people that are supposed to be on the left side and don't believe in gun violence are doing gun violence. Ladies, and look, it's fun how every time these gun shootings happen, They always heard me run to the president. Should we have trigger gun laws? Yes. But they always try to find how was this a conservative? How was this a Second Amendment nut? That's how the media portrays it. But when it comes to something like, hey, this person identifies a cross-dressing BLM supporter. Oh, guys, I can hear them in their newsroom, CBS, NBC, and all of it. Guys, this don't fit the narrative. These are our own people doing this. It's the same thing, like gun violence. Oh, gun violence in Chicago. Oh, it mainly affects the black community. Yeah, because it's black on black crime. But see, they don't look at that. Oh, the gun. The gun got up. I always use this analogy, and I know it's getting old, but hey, it's the best analogy. The gun got up from the drawer or the safe or whatever and said, hey, I'm going to go ahead and commit a crime today and walk down the street and hurt people. No, it's not the piece of machinery. It's the nut behind the piece of machinery. But see, the left don't talk about this because it goes against the narrative. All right, ladies and gentlemen, and this had my head scratching. I've been waiting to talk about this. I was going to do this in the first segment, but I thought the first segment topic was more important to talk about America's patriotism and showing the nuts that who are trying to trash this glorious country. But boy, this has been itching me. I had to put this in the second segment. So, I'll give you a little background history before I talk about it. Hunter Biden has been proven to be a crack smoker. Not butt cracks, this is regular crack. Maybe that too, I don't know. But Biden, Hunter Biden has been proven to smoke or snort, marijuana smoking. I haven't done drugs, thank the Lord. But ladies and gentlemen, we have been proven. It's been proven through multiple pictures, Hunter Biden's laptop and other sources, that he had a drug problem. Now the Bidens, Joe and Dr. Joe Biden, has said, oh, he's in recovery. Oh, he don't do that no more. Oh, he's a good boy. Remember Joe Biden? I'm proud of I become a better president because I'm proud of my son. That was also the same interview. He said that Hunter Biden didn't do nothing wrong. That was a buttload of what. But Hunter Biden is doing good. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with everything going on with the Bidens right now, with the Biden crime syndicate, the scandals going all over with Ukraine, China, and all that, this story is like the icing on the cake. Why? Because Secret Service discovered cocaine inside the White House. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. According to the Daily Wire and many other outlets, a uniformed U.S. Secret Service agent discovered a powdery white substance in the White House this week, prompting a brief evacuation. They had to get rid of everybody. The substance, later identified as preliminary testing as cocaine, was found during a patrol of the West Wing on Sunday night. The substance is now undergoing additional testing. Now, it has been confirmed, though, that it was cocaine in the White House on a Saturday night. Now, ladies and gentlemen, of course, the White House trying to cover Hunter Biden. Correction, they're trying to give you an explanation of why the cocaine was in the White House. And people thought Richard Nixon was bad. We got cocaine in the White House. Did the drug dealer go into the White House? I don't know. But the White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre insisted Wednesday that the cocaine was discovered in the White House over Independence Day weekend was found while the Bidens were away. The thing of it is, they could have been away, but it could have been stashed and hidden. Hunter Biden was in the White House. Now, we have to say allegedly because we don't know if it's Hunter Biden's, but I allegedly think it is. I'm not 90% sure. Karine Jean-Pierre said that the substance was discovered in the area where the West Wing tours take place. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. A crackhead was running away from the cops, went into the White House for a tour where they search everybody. Now, they're saying this is where you leave your phone. They found it where you leave your phone and all that stuff. I don't know if that's true or what. But ladies and gentlemen, crack cocaine in the White House. And like I said, a crack addict running away from the cops or running from somebody got into the White House and said, oh boy, I can't, let me put it behind this plant or they need my phone. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how many people that are in the Secret Service would have saw them putting, if they're putting their phone in their belt and their hat, and as you go into every government building, you have to take off all your medals. If you have metal or whatever, you have to take it off. And all the White House is one of the most secure places on earth. You're not telling me that Secret Service didn't see a fool put some cocaine in there? Now, like I said, we have to depend where it's at. But it's kind of funny. Hunter Biden was just there. And all of a sudden, we're finding crack cocaine in the White House. Like I said, for all you people that thought Richard Nixon was bad for listening to Democrats on tapes, which there's a lot worse now, I'm just saying, you have crack cocaine, which is both the same thing, I know, in the White House. I'm going to do the Joe Biden. In the White House. Listen to me. In the White House. How embarrassing of a predicament this family has put us through so far. Ladies and gentlemen, you have more scandals coming out of this White House before and during. You have some of the worst, the economy is at one of the worst states it's ever been in America. You have the president, Hunter Biden's dad, Joe Biden, falling upstairs. I'm not falling up the stairs and falling down. No, he was walking up and fell. Never saw it before. I always heard people falling down the stairs, never up the stairs. You have him shaking people's hands at an embarrassment coming out of this administration. Now to top it all off, we have crack cocaine. And the first thing that I thought of when I saw this, I cannot believe this. This is an embarrassment to the old US of A. And in the White House trying to cover it up. It must have been somebody on tour. You know they had a little sniff. They had a little sniff, and while they were listening to the tour, oh, that was a good hit. They're talking about George Washington. Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, it is proven that Hunter Biden is a user of this substance. And instead of the White House just being honest about it, no, he must have been one of our guests on a Sunday. We don't know how long it was there, but a guest must have came in and they wanting to feel high in the White House. And then again, it don't surprise me, ladies and gentlemen. We had a transgender that was a male turned himself into a female, showing off his boobs. So nothing surprises me no more. Nothing surprises me no more. But ladies and gentlemen, this is an embarrassment. And they all have one common thing: Joe Biden. Joe Biden, look, ladies and gentlemen, this is why 2024 is so important. Just not for the presidential election, for the Senate elections and the congressional elections. This is why, and look, I'm not trying to say the Republicans are the solution to all our problems, but the Democrats are the cause of all our problems right now. And ladies and gentlemen, this is an embarrassment. I never, ever would have thought I would get a news article like this, that crack was found in the White House. This is an embarrassment on the world stage. And look, don't get me wrong, there've been presidents that done worse things in there. Look, let's say, you thought Bill Clinton sleeping around with some interns were bad? I don't know. Well, it wasn't the president. Yeah, but his son has been ever since the settlements and the plea deal, the sweetheart plea deal has went up. You notice Hunter Biden is going more and more to the White House? And it's a coincidence that now they're finding cocaine? Ladies and gentlemen, Unless you believe 2 and 2 is 5, you see the coincidence in this. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and take a break. I'll be right back in a few moments.
Cheers and good on you, boys and girls. My name is Scott Ford, and I have a show on Rumble. It's the Scott Ford Show, all one word. The Scott Ford Show, all one word, and it's on Rumble. I'd be very happy if you went ahead and subscribed. Like Isaac, I'm a true American-loving patriot. Thank you, Isaac. God bless. Enjoy your life.
Welcome back to the third segment of the Cajun Conservative Show. Just thinking about something, ladies and gentlemen. Imagine Hunter Biden running around the White House. Hey, you remember they called Biden the big guy, and supposedly the crime syndicate and all that stuff. I wonder if he ran into the Oval Office. Hey, big guy, want a snort? And Joe Biden's, who are you again? Hey, big guy, want a snort? You might not think that's funny. I think it's funny. But in reality, it's not a laughing matter. I'm just, where has our nation gone? You don't look, and look, even the Obama family, don't get me wrong. Now it's kind of different with his daughters going to college, and you every so often get the story of one of their daughters doing something at college. But if you remember, like I'm using a Democrat first family for an example. For all you leftists out there that think, oh, everybody's a conservative is good and everybody that's a Democrat's bad. No. If you looked at the first family in the Obama years, it was a respectable family. They had a certain standard to live by. And I don't know, and remember, Hunter Biden wasn't here. Hunter Biden was all over the country talking about the big guy in text messages. And ladies and gentlemen, it was the first family was looked up to as respectable. Look at our that's a great representation of America, the first family. Donald Trump, Melania Trump, and their younger son. I can't think of his name at the moment. You had a lot of things in the Trump era that was controversial, but you still, when you looked at the first family, you're like, wow, look at that. Look, upstanding citizens. These boys are businessmen. How did we get from first families being respectable and looked up to a man that's the first son taking pictures of himself in the nude in a bathtub with a joint in his mouth and have alcohol all over and taking pictures with guns, which he obtained illegally? And now that you think of Hunter Biden, you don't think of a respectable view of America. Me personally, it makes me sick. And look, I commend the Republicans for trying to get to the bottom of this stuff. And I just scratch my head every time I think of the Democrats that are seeing this embarrassment to America. And all they're saying is, Biden is the greatest president in the world. He was the most voted president in the world. Oh, I got a tear. What about her? What about Hunter Biden? I don't want to talk about that. And look, there's a lot. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was not planning on going with this, but I saw an article today that when they asked Karine Jean-Pierre about Hunter Biden's daughter that he just paid a settlement to try, and his argument for trying to get to the settlement was, I don't make enough money to give her what she wants for child support. So he's showing me he's a deadbeat dad on top of being a disgrace to America. But when asked about it, we're not going to acknowledge that girl. Joe Biden, every time he talks about his grandchildren, he leaves that grandchild out like that's a stain on our reputation. Mr. Biden or President Biden, your reputation is stained from head to toe on other things besides an illegitimate daughter or granddaughter. But ladies and gentlemen, look, Hunter Biden broke the law. Hunter Biden don't owe up to his responsibilities because he's not taking care of his daughter. He was forced to take care of his daughter. And if Joe Biden and the administration had their way, they would have told the judge to throw this out. But ladies and gentlemen, this is starting to be a continuation of embarrassment to the office of the White House. Now I can hear, and I was not planning all this. This is off the cuff. But I can hear all you leftists right now. I think you're talking about that with Biden. What about Trump? Trump was a disgrace. Trump did this. Trump did that. Trump did this. Yeah, but a lot of things they say Trump did this, Trump did that have been proven false. You are not hearing no falsehood of the Biden family. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to say it again. I said it before. I'm going to say it again. The Biden family is being laughed at by other countries. We have lost multiple embassies in other countries with this president. You only know about Afghanistan. But ladies and gentlemen, there's multiple embassies that have been lost by other countries. We've lost in other countries. Why? Because we have a president that shakes hands with invisible men. This is why China is starting to push towards Taiwan. This is why Russia went ahead and attacked Ukraine. Because they knew that Biden would not do a dang thing. And guess what? They're getting away with it. And you know what? Look, last time this happened when countries knew that they could get away with certain things with a president was Jimmy Carter. And I'm hoping history repeats itself, that we elect a president. And I'm a DeSantis fan. But if it's DeSantis, Trump, Larry Elder, somebody, Roland Roberts, whoever it is, whoever becomes president, I hope they look at it and say, we need to stop. Because yes, Biden wouldn't have stopped us, but this person will stop us. And we put fear back in the hearts of other nations for America. And that they respect the red, white, and blue. And that when a president says, don't do it, they don't think, he ain't gonna have to worry about it. That's what I'm hoping history repeats itself, because when Ronald Reagan came in, the Iranians like, we need to get, hey, let them Americans go. And you had the media. Jimmy Carter worked so hard to get a. No, they didn't let them prisoners go because of Jimmy Carter. They let them go because Ronald Reagan was coming, and Ronald Reagan said, "I'm coming, and I'm coming with a sledgehammer." That's why they let them go, and this is where we're at right now. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Jimmy Carter can thank President Joe Biden. Because Jimmy Carter is not considered the worst president no more. It's just that simple. All right, so Jane Paskowski. Still don't know how she has a show. I know MSNBC is not owned by Disney. But how did this woman still got a job and half of the ESPN staff is fired? I still don't know. MSNBC they have taken over the top spot over Fox. Thanks to Fox, because Fox fired Tucker Carlson. Now talking about it, they just announced their lineup, and Jesse Waters has taken Tucker's spot. We're gonna have to see the ratings. I like Jesse Waters, but I don't know if Waters could hold it up to Tucker. But we're gonna go find out and see. But anyway, going back to Jane Paskowski, how I still don't know how she has a job. Made a claim this week. She claimed Republicans are recruiting Muslims against the transgender people. I watched the clip, and she was talking about how in 2010, 2011, 2015, and onward, the Republicans were talking about how we had to stop Muslims from coming into this country. But now move forward. The Republicans are, how do you get rid of an enemy? You joining with another enemy. And she talked about how the GOP is recruiting Muslims to go against the trans community. Now, watching this, I saw a lot of things. I'm going to point out two of them right here. This is how Jane Paskowski thinks. She thinks she's so smart that she's dumb. The reason the Republicans were against not Muslims being here, they were against Muslims trying to implement Sharia law in certain towns and counties in this country, one being in Minnesota. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why Republicans were fighting against Muslims at the time. It was not for them not to come into this country. And it goes to the same point with the southern border. The Democrats act like Republicans don't want nobody coming in from Mexico, and that is not simply true. We don't want illegal immigrants coming in. Legal immigrants, people that done it right, or people that have even come in here and say, look, I'm seeking asylum, I want to be a citizen, and start the process up by doing it right. We don't mind them coming in. But people that are coming in just to get the freebies and not to pay taxes and to live a luxurious lifestyle under the name of the government, that's what we don't want in here. I don't mind legal Mexicans or legal immigrants coming into this nation. I don't mind that. And on that point, I don't mind legal immigrants coming in, but you have to abide by our rules and our Constitution. And that's what was going on back in them times. See, James Laskowski took clips of Newt Gingrich and other prominent Republicans at the time saying we don't want Sharia law. And her thought was Republicans are against the Muslim community. We're not. You can come and you can live your religion. As long as you don't become a radical and start hurting people, you're fine. You can live in this country. But you got to forsake Sharia law and follow the Constitution. Now, some people might say, well, hold on, don't you follow the rules of the Bible? Yes, which is kind of proved my point that this country was built on a biblical foundation. Majority of our laws right now were built on biblical principles. Get what I'm saying? And I understand the faith is higher than the Constitution or whatever you might say. But ladies and gentlemen, these people were coming here and at that time were trying to implement Sharia law into this country. And Republicans were saying no. But Jane Paskowski just think, they were against Muslims. Now, and going to my second point, her main second point of the thing was, but now they're using the Muslims to come against the transgender community. No, we're not. The thing of it is, Muslims do not believe in transgender people. That is part of their faith. Their faith says that, hey, there's only two genders. That is the Muslim teachings. It's not that we're recruiting. It just so happens that we kind of believe the same way. We do have vast differences on how to treat the trans community, but we believe that, hey, it's between a male and a female. That is the natural course of the life. That's what a Christian believes. So it's not hard for the GOP to say, hey, do you agree? Now, she played a clip where she asked, when she told a Muslim, well, I was waiting for y'all to stand up and say something. Now, this comes on the heels of when the county, one of the counties that is primarily Muslim, said you cannot fly the pride flag in public areas. And I even came on and said, look, they mentioned it up, and I told them it was between a rock and a hard place. I remember that episode. Now, ladies and gentlemen, Jane Paskowski's mentioning all that, but she has a lot of holes in her story. This is why I say she thinks she's so smart. She thinks this is a story that's going to go ahead and break the web, and that she's going to be held as this great commentator. She's so smart that she's dumb. Remind me of a Bible verse. They think they're wise. They have become fools. And ladies and gentlemen, Dan Bongino calls her Peppermint Patty. I think that's an insult to Peppermint Patty. This woman couldn't make it as a press secretary. I'm surprised she's making it as a news commentator. And ladies, she's just bad. She's so smart that she thinks she's so smart she's dumb. I'm not trying to insult the woman, but I have to speak the truth. All right, so our last story of this episode. A U.S. district judge is temporarily preventing the White House officials from meeting with tech companies about social media censorship, arguing that such actions in the past were likely a First Amendment violation. The Tuesday's injunction by Louisiana, I'm proud to say that finally we have somebody in Louisiana that's doing something right. And look, we have a lot of good people that are doing it. It just, our governor makes it hard. Terry Doughty, I think that's his name, was in response to recent lawsuits from Louisiana and Missouri attorneys generals. The suit alleged that the White House court or specifically encouraged tech companies to suppress free speech during the COVID-19 pandemic. If you remember, ladies and gentlemen, during 2020, you could not mention COVID-19. If you mention anything about COVID-19, it would get a little, and they still do that. They put a little barrier, note at the bottom. I've had this done a couple of my episodes. I have not got flagged or anything for it. It just, if you want to know the truths about COVID-19, Well, if you remember, there was a lot of pundits that were talking against C-19's vaccinations and all that stuff, and it was proven that the White House went to tech media companies, Twitter, Facebook, anyone at the time, and told them, hey, you cannot go ahead and spread false information. If somebody does, you better put the consequences on them. You better remove their platform. You better remove. It was a big thing. I remember coming on the air and talking about it. On the same note, it was the same thing about the 2020 election. If the Biden administration thought you had the wrong thinking about the 2020 election and just mention something about it, they would go ahead and censor you. And this was encouraged by the administration. I remember when all this broke that the administration was doing this, I said that the federal government is not supposed to suppress the free speech of its citizens. Well, the Biden administration did this. Now this judge has prevented the White House, and it says temporarily in Fox News, has prevented the White House from even talking to the media companies. Of course, into the press room with Karine Jean-Pierre saying that this was wrong. I was seeing the clip earlier. This is wrong. This should not prevent the White House from doing this. I think the judge is misguided. I think the judge is this. And they were trying to make all kind of excuses for breaking the oath of the Constitution to protect and serve it. Now, did the Biden administration do something wrong on my previous episodes? I believe they did. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the White House should not mess with any free platform, free tech media platform. They should not tell these companies what to do to begin with. But to take away the First Amendment right of people is shameful. It is wrong. The First Amendment is there to protect speech that you're against. This is why I don't talk about censoring anybody on the left. Look, I just talked about Karine Jean-Pierre, and if she wants to show how foolish and idiotic she is, she has the right to do that on MSNBC. If somebody goes on Twitter, and I mentioned him earlier, the liberal trucker, I watch his videos. I don't hardly respond to it, but he has the right to go on TikTok and voice his opinion on things, as long as it's clean and it's it's nothing harmful or whatever. I understand all that, but ladies and gentlemen, look, we already trashed big social media companies in censoring us. But when you hear the White House calls Twitter, Facebook, True Social, name it, Rumble, YouTube, whatever, name it, and you can put that label. And the White House calls them and tells them, hey, we believe that is false information. You should censor them. And of course, most of the left, most of the big tech giants, their CEOs and their top brass are leftists, and they're, oh, yes, so great, Tommy. Oh, yes, so great, Biden. Yes, we will do what you say. Now, making a point as well, and this was on Fox News, Judge Janine made that point. A lot of what the White House was pushing, we know now that it was not true either. So why ain't the White House censored? Hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. But ladies and gentlemen, the whole purpose around it, and I'm going to point back to a Fox News banner that went across. Remember, they fired the producer and all that stuff, where it said that Biden is a wannabe dictator. Ladies and gentlemen, I said on this platform multiple times, a dictator takes two things away: free speech and gun rights. I mentioned it earlier in the podcast where we talked about the Baltimore mayor. Every time there's a gun shooting, Biden is out there. We need to have more stricter gun laws. I'm calling on Congress to pass gun legislation to save our young children. I would like, maybe one day I might get the privilege of being in a press corps and I will scream out, what about the unborn? You want to protect children? What about them? And that's a little side note. And then what a wannabe dictator does, he censors and he takes away the speech of all his opponents. And it's kind of funny how he went ahead and said, social media, I don't like what the Cajun Conservative is saying about me, so y'all censor him. And look, ladies and gentlemen, I already know I'm getting, I say that I do a lot better on audio and Rumble than I do in any other platform. Because a lot of these are free speech platforms. But ladies and gentlemen, the president, I hate to say it, actions speak louder than words. Dictators take away guns and they take away free speech. And it just bothers me that we have a president, like we said, this has been proven already. The judge is saying, hey, this possibly is a violation of the First Amendment, which leads to the questions, what are the Republicans are going to do about it? You remember Biden went ahead and said, I will uphold the Constitution as the president of the United States. If he violated this First Amendment right, isn't this an impeachable offense? Oh, there you go, Isaac. You're a conservative. You're talking about impeachment. You're using it as a political weapon. No, it is a legitimate question. Because if the president is going to violate people's First Amendment right on social media, where else he's willing to go? And that is a danger. And that's the real purpose of why an impeachment was there, not to get rid of your political opponents. And this is why I'm going to say the Republicans need to wake up. And they need to look at this and say, hey, what are we going to do? Even Democrats should be furious. And it should be set as a precedent that no president of the United States can censor people's speech and violate their First Amendment right. Will it happen? Probably not, because the Democrats are going to, nothing to see here. Biden, the greatest thing since sliced bread. But he's going to have to wait and see. So with that being said, I want to thank you for listening to this episode of the Cajun Conservative Show. If this was your first time listening to this show, thank you for staying for the whole thing. And welcome to the Cajun Conservative family. I think if you listen to one episode, that's it. You're hooked. You're part of the Cajun Conservative family. And I will tell you, I will love you with all my heart. But welcome to the family. And if you like the content of the content that I'm bringing out, please hit the follow button or the subscribe button, depending on the platform you're listening on. We are on several platforms. You can go ahead and look at our website, thecajunconservativeshow.wordpress.com, and they will give you all the links. You could also listen to the episodes there. We made it easy for everyone to go ahead and listen to all new episodes. Also, while you're checking out, go check out brothersjustsearching.wordpress.com. The new episodes, we're studying the struggle between law and grace right now. Go check it out if you like some good biblical content. With that being said, I want to thank you, as always. If you can, please share with your friends and family. I would greatly appreciate it. It helps out the show more than you know. Also, go check out our merch store at bgsmediastore.com. We have shirts, we have cups, we got hats, we got all that stuff, ladies and gentlemen. Go ahead and check it out. We also have M&W creating lasers, laser creations in the description. They made our Pledge Allegiance board right here. They made some coasters, made even some cups for us. Hey, go check them out and tell them Isaac Hayes sent you out there. Go join his Facebook page and let him know. With that being said, until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. Remember, Jesus Christ is coming back, and he's coming back soon. So don't be faint of heart, because he has already overcome the world. Until next time, be blessed, be encouraged. You have a good one.
Jesus Christ has risen, and he is the open door.